Britain's most ambitious jet startup just ran out of money. A British aerospace startup that had positioned itself as a potential future replacement for the Royal Air Force's Red Arrows display team has collapsed into administration, citing sustained cash flow pressure caused by repeated delays to the UK defence investment plan and geopolitical factors affecting its funding sources. Aeralis Limited, the developer of a modular light jet aircraft platform designed to serve military training, operational support, and aerobatic display requirements, appointed David Buchler and Joanne Milner of Buchler Phillips as joint administrators. The company confirmed the appointment. Notice reported by the UK Defence Journal states that the collapse followed a sustained period of pressure on the company's cash flow, resulting directly from continued delays to the defence investment plan. The document that is supposed to set out the Ministry of Defence's funding priorities and program commitments. That plan has been subject to repeated delays, and its finalization has been cited in recent parliamentary correspondence as a blocking factor for a range of capability and infrastructure decisions across the British Armed Forces. Aeralis has now become the most direct and visible public casualty of those delays for a UK defence company. The Aeralis platform was built around a modular design concept that distinguished it from conventional military trainer programs. Rather than developing a fixed configuration aircraft for a single role, Aeralis engineered a common airframe capable of accepting different nose sections and systems configurations, allowing a single platform to support pilot training, light operational support tasks, and aerobatic display flying. That flexibility was central to the company's commercial argument, rather than requiring the Royal Air Force to procure separate aircraft for separate roles. Aeralis offered a single modular system that could be reconfigured as requirements changed. The Red Arrows, the RAF's 9-aircraft aerobatic display team, which currently flies the BAE Systems Hawk T1, a design dating to the 1970s, represent a future replacement requirement that Aeralis had explicitly targeted as part of its market positioning. The Hawk T1 that the Red Arrows fly is one of the oldest aircraft in regular RAF operation, and the question of what replaces it for the display team has been discussed within British defence planning circles for years without resolution. The broader military trainer market, which includes the RAF's more recent Hawk T2 advanced jet trainer and potential future requirements for next-generation fast jet Leoden trainers, represents a substantial long-term procurement opportunity that Aeralis was competing to address with its modular approach. Losing that competition would have been a setback. Collapsing into administration before any contract was awarded is a different kind of outcome entirely. Robin Southwell, chairman of Aeralis, said the board reached its decision after careful consideration of the company's position and the funding challenges it had faced over recent months. Per the company's statement, the chairman's framing of the decision as deliberate rather than forced reflects the reality that administration is sometimes chosen as a managed process rather than a last resort, preserving the possibility of a structured sale or investment that a disorderly collapse would not. Joanne Milner of Buchler Phillips echoed that framing, describing Aeralis as having developed a highly differentiated proposition within the aerospace and defense sector, and expressing hope that the administration process would provide an opportunity to explore routes to preserve value and develop that value for stakeholders. Per her statement, the administrators say they will continue working with management and stakeholders to assess strategic options for the business and its assets, including opportunities to secure investment and support the continuation of the Aeralis program in an alternative structure. What that alternative structure might look like depends on whether the intellectual property, digital engineering capabilities, and strategic partnerships that Aeralis developed during its program retain enough commercial value to attract a buyer or investor willing to take the program forward. Defense technology, intellectual property, particularly in novel airframe design and modular systems architecture, can retain significant value through an insolvency process if the underlying engineering work is sound and the market opportunity remains intact. The question is whether any acquirer believes the UK defence procurement environment will resolve its delays quickly enough to make the investment worthwhile, which is precisely the uncertainty that drove Aeralis into administration in the first place. The defence investment plan's delays have rippled through the British defence industry in ways that rarely generate direct public accountability. Programs slip, companies restructure, headcounts are reduced, and capability timelines extend, but the connection between a specific procurement planning failure and a specific company's collapse is rarely as direct or as clearly documented As it is in the Aeralis case, the appointment notice explicitly cites the defense investment plan delays as the cause, not as context, and that directness is unusual in administration filings where commercial language typically obscures the specific trigger for a company's financial failure.